Hello, hello. Ebba here. Today I just wanted to do a little bit more of a sort of an update on the van and what we're doing and all the rest of it. This is, I believe it's Wednesday, and I think it's the 11th. Is it the 11th or 12th today? Can't see.
11th.
The 11th? The 11th, apparently. Okay. Apparently it's Wednesday anyway. So last night, yesterday, we limped the motorhome around. We found out that an alternator, I'm trying to shift my head so that I don't get that glare. We found out the alternator is going to cost us about $450. They charge about $150 an hour, and it's going to be a refurbished alternator. But it's okay because the company we've gone to has a really good reputation with a lot of people, and apparently they do a really good job. So we're good. We are waiting right now for money to come in from Alberta Health because we get reimbursed for being here, seeing this specialist and things like that. So, so they have the information now. They got it finally this morning. Yesterday we called them and they said, "Oh, but this paper doesn't have this on it," and it's like, "Oh, okay." So then we had to call and we had to get a better paper, apparently. So we are sitting at the Flying J that I told you we were not going to come back to. That is basically because it is the closest one we could get into. Last night we couldn't even get into any. We are further south than the Husky, and we kind of stayed for the number of days they told us we were allowed. So we had to leave. And we last night actually slept outside of an Amazon delivery center, it's called. And it's a place where the little vans are. So there's a warehouse in the north end of the city of Calgary. There's a big, huge warehouse that stuff comes into, and stuff is sitting there waiting to be, sold and things like that. But then there is also delivery centers. Now it's a huge, huge center, but they have the vans. And I imagine Ram was very, very happy when Amazon came and said, "We need 100 vans." Or more. I don't even know how many they would have ordered, but yeah, they're all Ram vans. They're the high top delivery type vans. Anyway, so we actually slept outside of that last night on the street. It was kind of noisy. There was a lot of cars, not necessarily trucks, but cars kind of going by. At 6 in the morning, there was a bunch of vans came out and went past us. That was exciting. Noisy. But it gave us a place to sleep for the night, and if we need to, we can go into that area and sleep. There was another fellow, he actually has 2 motorhomes on the street. He's rebuilding one, and he lives in the other one. And he has a trailer behind each of them. One's got a car and the other one's just a little trailer that he's got, I don't know what on. And so he's actually there, and that's where he lives. And I guess he goes to work. He was a younger person, not a senior. And although he was kind of graying a bit at his temples, but he talked to Gary for quite a long time, and he said, "No, it's really safe around there. Once in a while," he said, "make sure that things are tied down, because once in a while," he said, "there'll be somebody homeless come through, and they will try and steal things." And he's talking about the druggie types, alcoholics, that kind of person will come through. But anyway, so he just kind of warned us, and he said right where he is, he said it can get quite noisy because he said at certain days and certain times of the night, the trucks, sorry, my eye is really itchy in it. The trucks will trade trailers and do hooking up and things like that in that area, because there was, on one side of the street there was a big warehouse with a lot of trucks and trailers. On the other side there was the same. So we kind of went around the corner, and on the end, pardon me, on the main street, there was the big Amazon building and their huge parking lot, and we kind of went around onto the other side of it, and it was much quieter than it would have been where we were. So that's where we slept last night. Not the best situation, but we couldn't get in here. We tried, but we don't want to drive the motorhome too far because we don't have the alternator. I mean, it's there, but it makes a heck of a noise, and it's really not doing any good, and we don't want to wreck our battery by going too far and draining it down, because it's got nothing to charge it as we're driving. So so we're doing our best to keep the battery good because it's new. Just as soon not lose that. That cost us a couple $100. And then we have to get the alternator. Now we have to wait for the money to come from Alberta Health, which hopefully will happen on, we've been told to call on Friday, and they'll tell us what's going on, whether it's gone in or it's not gone in or whatever. So we may have to wait until next week, but we can call the alternator people and say, okay, book us a time for next week. And then we'll go and we'll park on the street over there, because it's very busy and very crowded, and they don't have a parking lot that's even close to big enough for us. Very, very few do. And it's in a little tiny strip mall. They don't actually have like a shop, but they install. So they'll install it on the street. The guy came in, he had a look at where it was located and what he thought he was going to have to do. He said the belt will have to come from underneath, and the alternator will go through the top, so they'll have to do that, but they do that apparently they're fine with doing it on the street, so, I don't really mind. I'm kind of leaning over to the side to try and get out of the, oh there, I can sit like this, get out of the glare from my glasses. It bothers me, it's going to bother you too. So. Anyway, yeah, so that's that. Now, the other thing I wanted to say was, when we were at the Husky, I had said in the one video that the Husky restaurant might not be open. It was. It just had closed for the night. By the time we got there at 11:30, it was closed. But the next day, Gary went in, and we had a few dollars on I don't know, cash somewhere. We had received some money, and we had a few dollars, and we went in, and I said, we need to eat a decent meal, and for us, cooking a decent meal is really difficult in here, and we couldn't go anywhere to sort of buy food to make a decent meal. So he went into the restaurant, and I had a steak sandwich, and he had I can't remember what he had. Something meaty. it had mashed potatoes and stuff. I think it was a hamburgers that he had. Anyway, I had a steak sandwich with fries and coleslaw. Coleslaw was really good. And the steak sandwich, now, usually I like my steak medium rare. I don't like it medium because that's too cooked for me. Because the more cooked you have a steak, the tougher the meat is, unless you really tenderize it, so I had a steak sandwich, but I had it medium rare. I asked for it medium rare. It was perfect. It was perfectly done medium rare steak. And and it had a piece of garlic bread. Now, normally, if you get in the restaurant, they put the garlic bread underneath the steak, and that's what is called a steak sandwich. But in this case, they put the steak in because we were doing takeout, because I didn't go into the restaurant. Gary just went in and got food and brought it out to us. And so they put the garlic toast into a little package, and they just did the fries and everything in the takeout box. And then they did the coleslaw in another little thing, so it stayed cold. And it was so good. It was just so delicious, just to sit and eat a lovely steak. It was not a big piece. It was about that wide and about that long. It was just a nice piece of steak, maybe a 3-ounce. But it was really good. Perfectly done. And Gary's food was really good, he said. So we really enjoyed that. So I just want to say, yes, the restaurant was open. Yesterday at one point we went to, we had to go down to there was a different mall, and we had to go there. And so we went down there, and they had an Indigo bookstore. It used to be Chapters. It's Indigo. Some of them are still called Chapters, actually, but they're Chapters Indigo or Indigo Chapters or whatever. But anyway, we went in to an Indigo bookstore, and we're just looking around. I mean, it was just so relaxing to go into a nice quiet place and just sort of breathe on. And both of us were real book lovers. I mean, we have a huge library of books in storage, of course. But we just do. We have a big library of books. We've read them all, and more than once. And I enjoy them, and Gary enjoys them. We enjoy reading. I don't enjoy listening to a book so much. I enjoy reading the book. I enjoy holding the book. I enjoy the pages. I just enjoy a book. So anyways, so we went into the bookstore. We were there for a while. And saw a couple of books that wouldn't mind picking up later. Don't need them now. But yeah, there was a couple of books that looked really interesting. And they were not fiction books. These were, non-fiction, computer types of things, actually. So I'm sorry I'm shifting around, but I keep trying to get rid of that glare on my glasses. Anyway. So yeah, it was a good day yesterday, good and relaxing. And then when we went on the street, it was a little less relaxing. Like, it was quite a bit less relaxing. But then we finally just settled and went to bed, and I slept off and on because it was noisy, and I would wake up and go to sleep. But it was no worse than being in a truck stop, because you can probably hear in the background the truck next to us is running. I think on the other side we've got another one that's running, so it's just the joys of being in a truck stop. But at least, we came over here early enough that it was late enough in the morning that we knew some of the trucks would have left, and early enough that they hadn't been replaced yet. So we got over here just after 8. And we got in, and we got into a decent spot. It's a decent spot. And later, if things, sort of clear out a little bit, we'll move into possibly a better spot. But right now, we're fine. When we have a truck on both sides of us, the motorhome tends to be warmer. So right now it's kind of warm in here, even though we've got the windows open and there is a slight breeze. But if the truck on this side, and this is on our left, the truck on the left side went away, that breeze would just be, it would be way more. But because we've got like a wall beside us, it is what it is. And what else was I going to say? Oh yes, I've been looking into websites, because I talked about that in my last video. Websites, and I think what I'm going to do is on Etsy I'm going to sell some digital things, that I have been actually working on. I've been working on a few pages and papers and things like that. So I think I'm going to sell them on Etsy. I could put them on Ko-fi and sell them there, but I think I'm going to put them on Etsy instead, because Etsy is known for it, and it might get seen a little bit quicker and known a little bit quicker. And then I am going to make a website, and I'm going to make a website that I can sell my various products on. So there'll be the collectibles, but they'll be sectioned off, I think. Probably the bracelets, for instance, will be jewelry, and possibly coining by itself, and then maybe dolls and toys, that sort of thing. I kind of divide it up. And then I'm also going to sell my cards, the made cards, and journals. I'm going to make some journals and folios and things like that. So I'll have some sectioned off pages. I'll let you know when that's up and going, and you can go over and have a look and see if there's anything there you're interested in. And because there are several sites that can set you up with all the selling paraphernalia that you need in order to be able to accept payments. And they do it all for you, and you can even have your own domain name, things like that. So I am looking into doing that and doing the research on which one would be the best for me. And and I say me because it'll be me looking after it. But I don't mind, because I've done websites before. I used to have I've had websites of my own in the past. They weren't selling websites. They were other types of websites. I had one at one point that was way back when The Sims 2 came into being, and I was doing, I did stories about my Sims 2 people, and I would do like a whole series about The Sims 2 and the people that were in that particular story, and I would do a whole story on it, and it was a lot of fun, but it was a lot of work as well, and I had a lot of people following me and reading the stories and really enjoying it. And I didn't hook up to links and things like that. It was just me, just having a good time. On the one that I'm talking about, I will probably have at some point, and I don't even know when, but I will probably have an Amazon associate type of link, where you can go and see the things that I use from Amazon and that sort of thing. Mine will all be Canadian links, so if you're from the US, you'll probably have to look them up on the US page, but they'll all be Canadian links. I'm not going to go and search on the US one when I've got a link to where I actually bought mine. But I'm thinking I'll probably do that just to have it, and then I can put that in my this show more, the little area down below videos. If you don't know, there's a word down there that says more, right? And if you click in that box, anywhere kind of in that box, it'll open up that box, and you can actually see things. And it depending on the person, it's the YouTuber, depending on them and what they do with theirs. Sometimes there's links, sometimes there's a little bit more information about the video you're watching, things like that. So I will probably put links to my website and links to my Etsy site. Probably do it that way. And then plus, of course, it'll be over on my channel page as well. Those links will be there. But that's what I'm thinking right now. I'm thinking that might be a good idea to just sort of plan it, and when I can do it. I don't want to do anything until we have our own internet. It's too difficult. I tried to upload a video this morning for you. Failed. Got to 65%. Too many other vehicles came in, the internet went away completely, and I haven't gotten back on. And Gary was fortunate enough to get on for long enough to do a couple of things he needed to do. I haven't been able to get back on, so maybe later today I'll be able to be on for a little bit. You see Gary through in the mirror back there. He's just stood up. He's doing something. I don't know what. He's on his way to the back or to the fridge. He's either hungry or he's going to have a lie down. Or maybe he's thirsty. Could be thirsty. But yeah, it's been pretty warm. We are really trying to just stay calm today and just not do much. So we're kind of parked and we're just staying. Because we didn't come until this morning, we don't have to go anywhere today. We can stay here all day and all night. So we're good. And like I said before, we may move over a spot or two. Because this one is on a slight angle, whereas we know the next one to us and the one on the other side are more flat. So we may move. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I mean, we've got a big guy next to us, like the wall, and I don't know what's on the other side because there's a wall there. It's like, you may as well have a building beside you when you got a truck like this. Yeah. And on the other side, I think we've got a bobtailer that's driven in, so he's face in. And then I think there's another truck over on the other side. But those ones are really slanted, like you're really on quite a slant. And we don't have our jacks don't work. We're hoping once we get the generator, we're going to be able to put the slide out and our jacks will work and we'll have a little bit better room, a little bit better life. We are really working to try and fix this thing up, because if we go to Vancouver Island, which we've been talking about seriously, go to Vancouver Island for the winter and possibly to move there, it's going to cost us to get across, but we will probably take this thing because we can't afford not to. Simply because we can't pay it off. We owe quite a bit on it. We've only paid on it for a year. Big motorhomes like this, they give you, it's more like a mortgage than it is a loan. It's a 25-year thing, you know, type of thing. So we pay a lower payment, but they're harder to get rid of because you've got a lien on them for that length of time. So, and we can't pay it off. I mean, we just don't have that kind of money. So we're thinking about, you know, getting our stuff, you know, prepping to go to the island. It's going to cost over $1,000 to get this onto the ferry and get there. But, you know, if we get there and we go into the Victoria area, Saanich area, we will probably be able to find a place that we can actually park. And then we can plug in, and then we don't have to drive places, and maybe we'll actually be able to get ourselves a little vehicle of some sort to be able to drive, you know, so that we don't have to move this. And it will become our home then. Victoria gets much better weather than here. It's dreary and rainy and misty and everything all winter. But they do have their sunny days in the winter time, and it's very, very beautiful in the area. So lots of flowers and lots of things like that. I have visited that area, and it's beautiful. So we're thinking about that. In the last video I talked about us going to the States, but the way that things are, it might not be a great idea. So we're just thinking of, and besides, it's going to cost us, because our passports have expired, it's going to cost us $130 or $40 each. If we pick our passports up, if we have them mailed to us, which is awkward, then it costs $120 each. And then we have to get our dog chipped and get her shots up to date and all this kind of stuff. And it's extremely expensive for us just to plan to go to the U.S. When we had our passports. The last time we were in a little motorhome, and it was smaller. It was cheaper to run. It was easier to park and all the rest. But when we were in that, well, it didn't cost us that much. I think it was $80 each for our passports, and we just had them mailed to us, and got over. I think we mailed them to. We might have picked them up, but anyways, we had them, and and it was just we had them. The dogs already had their shots and things like that. I mean, we watch her very closely. She's very seldom near other dogs or anything else, so we do keep an eye on her very close. But it's so expensive. I mean, for us to get her chipped is $500. Say for them to put a little chip into her body somewhere. And I mean, it's a thing now. They want it at the border. They need them chipped for some reason. Having a piece of paper that says this is your dog isn't enough anymore. So. Anyway, yeah. So we've looked at that and we've said, well, that's a lot of money. But you figure $500 to have her chipped, and her shots on top of that are another $2, so that's $700. And on top of that, it's $120 each if we have our things mailed to us. So that's $9. I mean, you're talking $1,000, and we haven't gone anywhere, and we don't have that kind of money. I mean, if we're going to spend $1,000, I'd rather spend $1,000 and go on the ferry and go across the island, and this is where we live now, and find ourselves a place. I do have a sister that lives there, and she's scoping things out apparently. I know. Yeah, so, and it'd be nice because we could spend time together and see each other and talk to each other and that sort of thing without it being texting and phone calls. So I just wanted to just say that our motorhome, we've got to wait for, well, probably till next week, about this time probably. But thank goodness Alberta Health is expediting the money to us. We've told them our situation, and they've said, oh, we'll get that to you right away. Phone us up Friday and we'll tell you where it's sitting. And pardon me, they're going to just direct deposit it because there's a postal strike threat apparently. So they're going to direct deposit it into my account, and we'll have the money to use. So I think that's about all I wanted to say. If not, I'll think of it and I'll talk about it in the next video. And I have no idea, like I said, I have no idea when this will go up. Oh, by the way, you can probably tell it's quite warm today. It's warm in here because of, like I say, because of the trucks on either side, because they stop the breeze from coming through. And this guy here, I think he's having a nap. It'd be nice if he'd just go away, but anyway, yeah. So I will talk to you again as I can, and I don't know when this will get uploaded. I tried this morning when it was early. I tried, and it was doing really good up until it wasn't. So, and then of course with YouTube, if your video stops uploading because the internet has gone away, if it's only a few seconds or even a couple of minutes, it doesn't seem to stop it. But if it goes longer than about 5 minutes, forget it. It's dead. It's done. It just stops and you can't get it going again. There is no resume button. There's no pause, which I think is crazy. I mean, but I guess everybody in the world has the internet at home, and we're not at home. And there's so many people on YouTube. that are doing videos that are traveling and doing and stuff, but they have a different sort of internet, kind of thing. And we just are trusting in the truck stops and in the public places right now. That's all we can do. As soon as we can, though, we'll get that internet of our own going. And I don't know, we might move back over to Grey Eagle and stay there for a while and just sit there for a week or so, get videos done, do some research that we need. Maybe I'll get my website started, that sort of thing. We'll see how it goes. So this is a half an hour. I guess I should stop. And sure, well, take care of yourselves and be kind. Bye now.